looking at the experience from the candidate perspective in a career, orientation, and job seeking, what can candidates do to find the job they love?
Yeah, that's a very nice question. I love that question actually, because I also have some personal experiences in my own job seeking and especially career orientation that are very relevant. So I also had a job that I really didn't like. So I also know how important it is also for your happiness and your fulfillment in general in life to have something that you do that you actually really love. But it is super difficult, obviously, to find the thing that you love to do. Usually, sometimes people are lucky and they find it at the beginning of the career and they won't leave it for the rest of their life. That's very rare. What I think that most people can do from a career orientation perspective, and that's more the psychological or philosophical almost kind of perspective, is to realize that career orientation is something that you really do on a continuous basis, instead of, you know, when you actually have to find a new job because you really are done with the job that you have, for an example, then you start orientating on your career. That's not the right timing to do that. You should do it way before that. So I would think from a career orientation perspective, that's one very important thing, is that you realize that you actually, you know, on a continuous basis reflect on who you are and what you're doing and how that matches. And then there's also a more practical point of view, and that's the job seeking perspective that you mentioned. So actually finding a job that you really love. So after you've done your reflection and you have actually a good view on what you actually would love to do, or have a good enough view to actually go test that out and just go do something and learn it on the job if you actually like it. Then there's the practical part, and that's more about, you know, finding the job, and that's what most people forget about, having other people find you. So the job seeking part is, you know, the usual job boards, you know, go do your research, Google, find out what kind of companies that you like and see if they actually, you know, have jobs open that you can apply for. But the second part is to be actually findable online by recruiters that are sourcing for talent. So we've been talking before in previous videos about the shift, you know, from people having to look for jobs to recruiters having to look for people, which is actually now the situation more, especially for hard to fill roles within tech companies that we're talking about a lot. So what you can do there is to be better findable online. And what you can do there is just, first step is to realize that recruiters are searching for keywords online. And that's basically their search, usually using Boolean searches or LinkedIn or any other platform. And the second thing is actually preparing your online presence to be able to be, for the recruiters to be able to actually find you based on the right things. So there are two things there, very important. One is that you actually, you know, have full information on what you can actually do. So your skills should be well described on your profile. And a tip that I would give you there is also use synonyms or other words, alternatives like keywords that you can use to describe actually the same thing but in another language, because then, you know, the chance that it matches with keywords that recruiters are looking for is higher. And the second thing is that you actually also describe what your ambitions are, because the same things as for skills, recruiters will be looking for those skills, but recruiters will also be looking for things that are just in the job description they've gotten from the hiring manager, for an example, or that they have drafted themselves, where also the kind of ambition or the growth perspective is described. And if that also matches with what you describe as an ambition on your profile or on any other platform than LinkedIn as well, then you have a better chance of being found by recruiters and getting an offer or getting at least the outreach.